Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got two replays in the Chinese Tier 8 Premium Heavy Tank, the Death Chariot WZ-112. Now this is a tank that you could buy last year from the Halloween tanks that came out, and this will be the first year that you are able to earn it. Now handily, I did actually have two good replays in this tank just lying in a folder somewhere in my hard drive, and I just completely forgot about the replays. So these are two really good games that I had in the tank, and for some reason just never showed them. Well, perfect time to show them right now, right? Because this will be the first year you've been able to earn the Death Chariot, and it's a pretty solid Tier 8 Premium Heavy Tank. The gun hits really hard, the armor's pretty nice. The two downsides for me would be the fact that, well, it's got pretty slow mobility, and add to that pretty slow turret traverse as well. And also the penetration can be a little bit disappointing at times, because you've only got 208 penetration on the standard AP and 250 on the heat pen. Add to that the shell velocity on those rounds aren't the best either, which can make this gun be a bit derpy. But it does, like I said, the armor does hold up pretty well if you side scrape and do all the Soviet type tier 8 heavy tank things. And you know, Soviet-esque, because obviously it's Chinese, but, you know, that sort of Soviet-type design. But anyway, yeah. So, yeah, the tank has a big slapping gun. It's got 460 alpha, which is really, really nice. There's not many tanks that have that kind of alpha at Tier 8. I think the Skoda T56 is one that has that as well. And, yeah, so when it hits like a truck. And it is very, very nice for that. And like I said, the armor is pretty damn good as well. Does it hold up against Tier 9s and Tier 10s when they're firing premium? No, but most Tier 8 tanks don't, right? But if you've been able to earn it for free in the Halloween mode, or the Halloween Monster Mash earn-up, that's pretty damn nice to pick up. Now, there are so many good Halloween tanks, to be fair, though, to pick from. Because, there's been so many released over the years that are a lot of fun to play. They're all absolutely solid tanks. I think this is a good tank. The Inferno Chimera is an absolute beast. You've got a pretty fun preferential premium in the Gorinich, which, I mean, it's a very KV5. It's very, very old school, but it can be damn fun. You got the Creature for the memes. I would never say the Creature's one that's a good one to pick. It's just a memey tank because it's got a derp gun. The Arachnid from last year's as well is another one that you'll be able to earn, and the Arachnid's actually a pretty damn fun tank, although it's absolutely butt ugly. But with the Monster Mash earn-up that we've got this year, you're actually able to earn a skin for free straight away. It's the first thing that comes out, or first thing that happens anyway from stage 1, and that is that you'll earn a skin for the Arachnid, which makes your tank look it just makes it look like the Fangula essentially, which has the same awakened ability. Basically looks more like the Fangula, a lot more like an AE Phase 1 with just a skin, so you don't have the big wiggly legs, which just make it look silly, and I've never liked that tank with the wiggly legs. But the Arachnid, as a tank to play though, the Arachnid was always quite a fun double shot autoloader to play. You've got that, the Lycan is fantastic, it's a fantastic tank, always has been the T71DA, and it's again another one that is great fun to pick up. You got the Bellerophon, which is a very good Tier 8 medium tank as well. Like, there are so many of the Halloween tanks that are really, really nice to pick up, and, you know, just generally good tanks. But a lot of people obviously have earned a lot of them by this point, so, you know, there's it's starting to get limited in the choices as to what came out last year as to pick out the tanks, right? And that would be the Arachnid and the Death Chariot and stuff like that. But yeah, the Death Chariot, I like the tank. I have a lot of fun with it, like I say, because it has that hard-hitting gun. It feels like when you are starting to compete with some of the higher tiers, yeah, sure, like I say, the penetration isn't very good, and it starts to struggle against those higher tier tanks for that penetration. But the alpha for when you do manage to get the pens in is really nice, and you have that. You feel like you've got that ability to trade a bit more easier than some of the other tanks that have got, like, say, 320 alpha or stuff like that. So, what do I run in terms of a crew on the Death Chariot? Forgot what name was for a second. Woof. What do I run in terms of a crew? Well, in terms of a crew on this tank, I run Born Leader, Rapid Reload, Sixth Sense, Situational Awareness, Steady Aim, Snapshot, Run and Gun, Trap Mechanic, and Rapid Aim. I run Rapid Aim because the turret traverse, like a slate, is very slow on this tank. It takes a little while for the turret to actually get whipped around. because it's only 20 degrees a second, which is very, very slow. The accuracy is 0.42, which means that I want to make this gun as good as it can be, because it can be very, very derpy with the 0.42 accuracy that the tank has in the 3-second aim time. So I just want to help the gun as much as humanly possible. And then in terms of the track mechanic, well, you are a heavy tank, so you do get brawling in this tank, so it's nice to be able to basically get the tracks back on as quickly as possible as you can, really. And in terms of equipment, I run the advanced loader, vertical stabilizers, and optics. Optics to be able to spot for yourself, vertical stabilizers to make sure that this, or gun stabilizer to make sure that this gun is as good as it humanly can be, because again, it is very derpy. You want to make the gun actually feel like you can hit things, and advanced loader so that you can get the best DPM out of this tank possible. So right here in this first replay, we've managed to get 4.7k damage with 54 assistance, and I'm going to cut the replay a little bit because, well, we end up spending about 2 or 3 minutes driving trying to find the last tank that's alive, which is an Iron Rain. So as you can see, the Iron Rain's actually in the castle, which caught everyone off guard a little bit. We find the Iron Rain, we've got HE loaded, 642! That's a roll with the HEs. We'll take that. That's why we load the HEs for Iron Rain. That is a beautiful thing. We aim the gun and... Yep. We didn't even do anything to it with HE. Oh no. That's because we hit the gun. And we finished the game with 4 kills, 5.3k damage, and 3.1k blocks, ace tanker, the steel wall, the high caliber, 1910 base XP. A pretty damn nice game for the Death Chariot in a top tier matchup. And we're into the second replay of the game, and of the video. And this replay is a pretty damn nice game that we're going to have. And it's also, well, things are going to happen that still hurts me to my very soul. And you'll see it the moment it happens. You'll see it the moment it happens. And that is, we are on Nomini Nom. And like I say, this replay is actually from quite a while ago. Actually, I think this Death Chariot replay is from about last Halloween. So it's about a year ago that this replay happened. And like I say, it's a really nice game. But it's one of those that I kept going back and having a look at the replay and going, oh, if only. Right. And you'll see why if only. So, it's Nomini Nom. We've got the weird spawns. And on Nomini Nom, with pretty damn nice matchmaking for the Death Chariot, we are going to go along the H line and basically try to push up under their guns of those that might basically camp on the ridge lines along E3, along the E line 4 line, along those ridge lines there. And then we can try and do some pretty nice damage. The one thing that this Death Chariot does have, actually, which is... I'd say it's nice, but it's also... Yeah, it's 6 degrees of gun depression. 6 degrees of gun depression is actually quite nice for a tank like this, because usually they've only got 5. So 6 degrees actually lets you be a little bit better in a fair few locations that have like bumps in the terrain. It means you can get the gun down and on target a little bit easier, and just makes life a little bit nicer. But is 6 degrees of gun depression a good amount of gun depression to have? Absolutely not. It's like 5 and 6 degrees are one of those, right? 5 and 6 degrees of gun depression are... They're like, ugh. They're the ugh gun depression, where you kind of go, and anything below that is, oh, that's awful. Right? Like the WZ-120 with 3. So, yeah. The 5 and 6 degrees of gun depression are just sort of like, oh, this is not that great, and can be a little bit, and just be irritating in a fair few situations. Once you get 7 degrees of gun depression, you're going, okay, this is better. It's still not great, but it's better. Once you get into 8 and 9 degrees, you're going, yes, I'm liking this. And 10 degrees of gun depression and above is like, please, yes, I'll take this every day. Every day. And it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. But 6 degrees of gun depression, like I say, it's not great. It's better than 5, which is nice. And it makes it a little bit more flexible in the ridgeline areas. And as you can see so far with this game, we've got to 1771 base XP. No, it's not that at all. 1771 damage, and we are slapping the rounds out. The amount of damage that is flying off, like, this gun hits so hard, it's so satisfying. The problem is it's got to hit, because it does like to miss the occasional shot, and that's something you're gonna have to live with if you pick the tank. Is that, well, the shells just are a little bit derpy on it. They really are. so the shell velocity is 800 meters a second on the standard AP. If you switch to heat rounds, you get 640 meters a second, which is exceptionally slow for a heat round. It's not very nice at all to use, and it means that sometimes when you fire the heat shells, they kind of loop, so they hit armor plates a little bit dodgily at times, and they'll hit them at a stupid angle, which means they're even less likely to pen when you're hitting some of the heavily armored tanks, which can be a little bit irritating too. But when you do get those matchups like this, where your alpha is a great thing, like, oh, the alpha's lovely. So good as we shut down that M6 there. Artillery's still raining the shots into us. We're just keeping our armor pointed towards this VK. Now there's a heavy tank on our right. There's actually a one-shot, so we go, okay, you know what? Good night, Mr. OI. Get out of my game. And we're going to move up now to use the dead wreck of the Tiger to keep ourselves covered from the VK. Actually, the VK's dead. We were going to move up to the hammer to keep ourselves covered from the VK, but then we're also trying to just not get artilleried, which happened again. We get detected as we're moving forward because we saw the artillery fire at us from this direction, from like DC1. So I was kind of hoping I'd get over there and cut them off before they run away. But we get spotted by the T50-2 there. I'm just trying to remember what it's called. The T50-2, and he ran away before we could get a shot into him. 3.2k damage so far is quite nice, but we want more. More, I say, more! Because, you know, we're we're damage-hungry people over here. And I'm hoping to find that artillery. The artillery, we saw the shell fly over, but just as we're coming over, we actually have a shot into the Scorpion. Hello, Mr. Scorpion, RBRT, and the power of RBRT compels me to kill you. And he's out of here. The T50-2 is playing with fire, clearly before the artillery changes, because that Hummel only has 300 HP as well. I suppose it was, being last Halloween. And we're hunting him. We want him. The T50-2 is coming back in, though. But, Piggy, bacon. Bacon. Bacon is what we want. We get rid of the bacon. And now T50-2. T50-2, boy. Hello, T50-2. You're next. As we get rid of that little light tank. Get out of here, little pest. And there's only 5 tanks left on the enemy team. And actually, it's 5-5 currently. This is quite close. In terms of the game, we're actually quite close at the minute. It's a bit on a knife's edge. We're up to 4k damage, which is a good game for a tier 8 heavy so far. The Bog Horror is progressing through the F line. We know there's a heavy tank down down in front of us at EF4, because that's where he was spotted. So we're hoping to try and get over and get some shots into him. And there we go. There's the heavy tank that gets spotted there. That Bog Horror is in the open, so we're hoping to get a big shot into his side. Maybe set him on fire, because Bog Horrors do like to get set on fire if you hit them in the back end, because that's where the engines and the fuel tanks are. So if you have good module damage, which a lot of the higher caliber guns do, you'll do some significant damage. Now, we are actually shooting down into the Bog Horror as well, which means we could just about overmatch his roof with our 122mm caliber gun, which is good. And we want to shut this man's down. Give us that cupola. Oh, unfortunately, our accuracy let us down then. We switched to HE. He is only a HE splash away, and we can pretty much shoot him anywhere near enough to kill him with this one shot. And there we go. We end up shutting down that Bog Horror. Unfortunately, though, he penned us with that shot, which is a little bit awkward, because we kind of wanted those hit points. So, we know where the Skoda T56 is. He's currently being attacked by the TD and the P43 BIS, who are actually doing a good job of taking him out, and in fact setting him on fire twice. That poor man. And he is out of here. So we know where 2 of the last 3 currently are, and in fact they're all tier 6s, so I'm not the most scared of him. The Nashorn is the scariest, because he's got very good pen, and his very good pen might hurt me. We know where 2 of them are. They were both spotted at E7, so we're hoping to get over there and be able to use our alpha and win this game, because it is still 4-3, it is still on knife's edge. Any mistake and it's not going to end well. There is the light tank on our left, and then we've got the TD and the medium tank behind us, who are both tier 6s. So I think the light tanks, I didn't see what the light tank is. Oh, it's a Batchat 12T, so we've got 2 tier 8s still alive, which is pretty decent. I'm hungry for the kills here. I want to go get these kills. There's 3 guys left. I think we're on 7 kills at this point, which makes me go, ooh, Because I think we just looked at the team listings and we were on 7 kills. And like, Radley Walters is on here. Maybe a Pools, who knows? So we're going to go chase him. We're going to go try and find them. And that's where we find the Nashorn, who is a one-shot for us. We have 460 alpha. We should be able to kill this man in one shot. So as we're coming along, it's like, oh no, there's the medium tank. Don't kill me, Mr. Medium Tank. Or don't shoot me at least, because you never know, he might set me on fire. But he's just going to continue driving on up. Thank you very much, I say, as the destructible cover takes the entire 122mm caliber shell, and we shut down the VK3001P, which should have happened before. The Nashorn's coming in, rams himself to death. Rams himself on us. We've already got a Radley Walters from the VK now. We shut down the Nashorn. Oh my goodness, we're on for a Pools. Let's go. 5.4k damage, 907 assistance. Here comes the SU. I'm like, go on, ram me. He's now a one shot. We got 460 alpha. 437. No! 437 instead of 460, and we finished the game with 9 kills, 6,042 damage, 907 assistance. Ace Tank can devastate Radley Walters like Element Top Gun. 2.4k base XP, a really nice game. RNG. RNG said no. RNG was like, no Pools for you, my friend. Nope. You have 460, now I'm going to give you a 437. Thanks, game. So as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching. In disappointment, I'll see you later.
A great success!